talk about some stuff I made. Look, I even made tea because it's cozy and it's Halloween. I made a bunch of stuff for my Etsy and I'm really proud of it and I want to talk about it and I want to show it off, and I just feel like these things that I have made deserve to have their story told a little bit. Some things have more of a story than others. Whatever, I just feel like it would be fun and cool and interesting to give every single piece. It's all in front of me, so I keep pointing at it. Every single piece, their time in the sun. So by my count, I think I did something like 63 pieces, and I want to talk about why I went crazy and made 60 things for an Etsy shop that I haven't touched in, I think, 2 years. I want to talk about why Halloween, and yeah, I just want to talk. So the villain origin story of this collection is that, and this is, I don't know if it's sad or not, part of it's sad, but my cat died. I know it's a bleak opening to this, but hear me out. My cat died this summer, and his name was Walter. I had him for 17 years. He was a big Maine Coon. He was beautiful, he was nice, I loved him very much. And when he passed away, when I had to say goodbye, I was very sad, as is to be expected, and I didn't know what to do. And for some reason, my YouTube algorithm was like, hey, would you like to watch a bunch of people shop for Halloween things in June? And I was like, yeah, I would like that. And so the way I dealt with my grief was I sat on my couch and I watched people just look at Halloween things in big box stores like Michael's, Marshall's, Home Goods, At Home, the big hitters. And something I noticed about a trend that's going on in 2024, it started with Hippie Hollow at Michael's. That was the first thing I saw in June. Hippie Hollow was out and I was like, my God, this is beautiful. And I don't know if it was the grief, I don't know if I just like Halloween and also the color pink, I really don't know, but it just spoke to me in my soul, and a lot of people were like not pleased about it. They thought, I don't know, and not to say everyone, not to generalize obviously, but it was a polarizing thing to come out, and it was the first set that Michael's released this year. They've since released like 3 or 4 more different sets of things that are much more traditionally Halloween coded. But they scared everyone at first. They were like, here it is, here's groovy spooky. And a lot of people were on board with it, myself included. I thought it was the coolest thing. I really liked looking at it. I really like that it exists. That's my cat. And so I was like, yes, this speaks to me. And the more I watched these videos of people shopping for Halloween things, the more pink and purple and glittery things showed up, and there just wasn't the response to it that I was sort of expecting in the specific videos that I was watching. And what got me, and forgive me, I don't remember what store it was, I think it was like a Marshall's, but this video I was watching, this YouTuber, I watch a lot of Chris the Girl, I don't know, I just really like her. She's been a big comfort to me this summer, but she found this pink candy corn, not unlike this one. She found a pink candy corn and I activated. I fully activated, and it was a big pillow. It wasn't this small. It was a big pillow, pink candy corn. The colors were slightly different. Oh, there we go. You can see the colors here a little bit better. These are a little bit more pale pink. And I don't know exactly what happened, but this was mid to late July. And I was like, boy howdy, I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make my own Halloween collection. I'm gonna put it on my Etsy. I've got time. It's July. Let's party. So that's what I did. I made a bunch of stuff and I was like, golly, maybe I can be done with all this by September 15th. And I was done with everything by like August 20th. So I made a couple extra bonus things I didn't anticipate making, which is kind of neat, and I could make more if I want to, but full disclosure, I'm a little tired of pink and purple now. I totally overdid it. I'm ready to see something actually spooky or orange or green or yellow. I've been looking at pink and purple for so long. So that's a whole other story. I'm not going to get into that now, but I wanted to go over the things I made. I wanted to go over who made them. I don't really think I have a lot of original patterns here, if I'm going to be honest. I was not in a place to think critically. I was in a place to just make things, and that's what I did. So for anyone interested in my process, the process was I was watching YouTube, I'm impressionable, I saw a pink candy corn, I activated, and then I made a list of things that I thought would be cool to make, and I tried to keep it to pink and purple. I didn't try to stretch out to any other colors as best I could. There are some outliers, but there's not like a random like orange or red or something thrown in. And I tried to actually just make a Word document list of the things I wanted to make, and I tried my darndest to stick to it. With the exception of when I was done with everything, I made a couple extra things, and I had some things on that document that I ended up not making just because I wasn't feeling it. A big part of this was that I just wanted to sort of follow the fun. I just wanted to keep doing what was fun and stay interested, and I decided as soon as I wasn't interested I would be done, and that's pretty much what I did. So, you saw the pink candy corn, the thing that started it all. Yes, I made 5 of them. I don't know, they were small, they took an hour each, and I liked making them, and I made a whole bunch on a weekend day that I had nothing going on. So I literally sat on my couch and I was like, it's time for the Halloween collection. I'm going to make all the candy corns in the world. And then when I was done making pink candy corns, I was like, well, obviously she needs a sister. So I made 5 purple candy corns. And so I made 10 candy corns. And at that point, that's when I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I've made 10 things. I'm doing it. So that felt really good. There's not really a story there. That was just me rotting on my couch making candy corn for a full day in July, which isn't like a fun story, I guess. But that's what happened. And as soon as I made those 10, I kind of knew. I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna follow through on this. So the next thing I made, oh, I want to give credit where credit is due. Oh my god, my thing's on the floor. So the Amigurumi candy corn is a pattern by Grace and Yarn that you can find on Ravelry, of course. It's a free pattern. I will note which ones are free and which ones are paid, and I will let you know who made everything. So after I made my 10 candy corns, this was super cool. I made some witch hats. I made 2 of them. I made 2 pink witch hats, and what I did was I made them in white. I made them plain pure snow white, and then I was like, I'm gonna play around with Rit dye. So it probably could have gone better. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but you can kind of see how on the creases there, it didn't quite get it perfectly. But on the front, I think I did a really good job. Bottom, not much to see, I guess. What I did was I here's your water level. I dipped it, obviously. I dipped it, I let it stay for longer, and then at the very end, I just sort of like ran the brim around the water. So I tried to keep the top as white as possible to make like an ombre. I've always said ombre, but I hear everyone say ombre. So a faded effect. I made a faded effect. So I did 2 of these in pink, and then I did, of course, 2 in purple. And I think the purple turned out better. I did the purple second, so the fading is a little bit better. It's more what I was anticipating, but I had the pleasure of having messed up on the pink ones. So this hat pattern is technically, it's by Crafty Tibbles. God bless her, I love Crafty Tibbles. This is a Gandalf hat. I had her Gandalf pattern and I made her Gandalf, and I was like, that would be a cool little witch hat, which was inspired again by the Michaels collection. I went to Michaels myself one day when I was feeling sad, and I was like, I want to look at Halloween things in person. And I saw this little pink witch hat desk decoration, and I almost picked it up. And then I was like, what am I doing? I crochet. I can just make a witch hat in like an hour. So I did that, and then I made it the colors, the exact colors I wanted to. So that was super fun, and I really enjoyed that one. The next one I did is the Autumn Leaf by Roboot, Komania, and it is a doily. So I made a pink maple leaf doily. It didn't take me that long, I think an hour or 2. And I've made these doilies before in more traditional fall colors, but I was like, it would be pretty freaking whimsical to have a pink and a purple maple leaf doily. So that's what I did. Not much of a story there. I just thought it'd be cute to have a pink and a purple doily. So I made them. The end. Next up, this one I struggled with because I wanted to make a ghost that looked like a sheet ghost. And it took me a really long time to find a pattern that I was delighted by, and I ended up finding a pattern on Etsy. It was a paid pattern from Etsy called Flowy Ghost by PeachPenguinCrochet. And then for her little bow, I just made a rectangle, just a little crocheted rectangle out of half double crochets. I pinched it in the center to make a little bow tie pasta, and then I just wrapped yarn around it. So nothing crazy there. I will say, if you do get this pattern, the pattern maker has 2 parts. So one for this like flowy ghost sheet, and then another part that's just like basically a cone, like a ghost shape that you put in there so that she stands up. I did not make the inside part, so she's hollow in there. She's totally hollow in there. I think part of it too was so that you would have something to sew the sheet folds onto, but as you see, I just kind of made this little flower pattern on the bottom. I just sewed the ghost part to itself. Worked out totally fine. She stands up totally fine. In shipping, she might get a little squished, but you can just kind of like reach up there and reshape her. So not a big deal. I also special ordered the safety eyes for this occasion because I wanted her to have those like traditional oval cutout ghost eyes, and I didn't think that that would translate if I just used regular safety eyes or colored circular safety eyes. So she was really fun. This was a really easy project that I thought was going to take longer than it did. For what it's worth, you're basically just starting here and you're making a big kind of flowy cone shape, and then you sew it together so that she's ghost shaped. So I made 2 with little pink bows, and then I made 2 with little purple bows, and I think they're the cutest. I was thinking initially that the witch hats would go on them, but it's hard to see with the bow in the way. I deliberated over it for a long time, and ultimately I don't know if they just didn't match up quite right, or if it was just too many things. I felt like the ghost was really its own project and the hat needed to be more of a centerpiece. I don't know, the vibes weren't connecting for me, and I was like, maybe I could make just a plain witch hat and put it on the ghost. And then I was just like, I just want to be done with this. So I just made a bow. The bow took me like 10 minutes and I was like, let's just see what it looks on before I commit to anything. And I just kind of placed it on. I was like, that's it. And I just immediately started sewing her little bow on. So next, I wanted to make a pumpkin because pumpkins are, of course, your traditional Halloween fare. So obviously I was going to make them in pink and purple because that's the vibe. And I initially wasn't sure about this pattern. This pattern is called Pumpkin by Mila Kralina, and her handle is @ds_mouse. So between those two things, if you would like to make this pumpkin, you can find her pattern. I was a little unsure about it. Couple reasons. I do amigurumi, which is traditionally single crochets all the way around, of course. This pattern uses double crochets. So you start here. You start at the stem, you make the stem, you're doing single crochets, awesome. And then all of this poofy part is double crochet. And then the way that it creases is you use single crochets where those creases are, which is really clever. It's a very clever idea. Go follow her pattern. She gives you more details, but it's a clever pattern. Because you don't have to do, if you've made a crochet pumpkin before, you have to like take the yarn and like wind it around and pull it, which I don't mind, but I was like, oh, this is kind of different. This is kind of fun. And initially just the shape was a little bit weird. You can kind of see through it in some places, which I usually can't when I use single crochet. So I just wasn't sure. But then after I put the little vine and the little leaf on, and if you look at it, you know, from kind of far away, it's like, oh, that's a cute pumpkin. And hopefully no one is gonna be up close super inspecting it. So of course I made 2 pink ones and I made 2 purple ones, and those are pumpkins. So this was where I slowly stopped watching Halloween shopping videos and started watching crochet market prep videos. I don't know, the algorithm just sort of swayed me that way and I was like, man, that sounds fun. And I watched, I believe it was Refined Vibes, make a bunch of creatures on swings. And I think it's Endless Yarn with 2 N's, who had a pattern for like the froggy on the swing and a ducky on the swing and a bear on a swing. But my Halloween brain was like, that's cute. What about a ghost on a swing? So I made a ghost on a swing. I actually made 3 ghosts on swings. The ghost pattern is called Boo the Ghost by Mama Crochetti, and it's like crochet with an extra TI. And the swing pattern is Endless Yarn. I mostly just adapted the swing pattern, even though it's easy. It's just like a little swing seat and then a chain for the swing part. I told you, my brain was not in critical thinking pattern making mode. It was in, please just make a cute little guy and look into his cute little eyes mode. That's where I was at. So these, I ordered these little crescent safety eyes because I just like the look of them. And it's funny because I was like, I never make things this big. I'm never gonna use these. And then it just got in my head. I was like, I'm gonna use the big fluffy blanket yarn and I'm gonna make a big fluffy ghost on a swing. And honestly, I don't really like using blanket yarn. It's not that I don't like how it looks. I just have a lot of trouble with it. I don't even mind touching it. I think it's super soft. I don't even have a lot of fuzzies go everywhere like a lot of people complain about. I just don't really know what people are using and I haven't found the yarn for me. So I think I figured it out, but I think I just used a size too big because the idea behind these was that they would go behind your rear view mirror. But it's like half the size of my head. I don't know if this is fit for going over your rear view mirror. I think it's probably safe. I don't think like you'll get pulled over for it. I'm sure you can still see out your windshield. But it's just bigger than I expected it to be. Scramble, what are you doing? Scramble's here. Sir? Mr. Man. So, anyway, I'm focused. I'm gonna edit all of this out. So, this is a little bit bigger than I anticipated it to be. But I made all of them anyway. So I had 3 pairs of these big eyes. They're slightly different colored. It's like a dark pink, a light pink, and then a purple. So those were the 3 colors I had. And so I was like, well, that is meant to be. And I think they're cute and I like them. So I might try them again to scale them down a bit, but that's what I have for now. Okay. So the last crocheted thing, sort of, I made a lot of jewelry too. We're like maybe halfway done. So there is a lot happening here. So the last crocheted thing I made is Cauldron by PointedHat.net. This was an Etsy pattern. The Pointed Hat on Etsy has some super cool patterns. There's actually a few more by them that I want to make. I just haven't gotten there yet because I've been making all this stuff. But one that I saw even before I planned all of this, I had favorited it a while back, and it was this Cauldron coaster set. So I made the cauldron in like an ivory color because I wanted it to fit in better with everything that I had made. And then the bubbles are these little coasters, these little like 4x4 coasters. The pattern told me to use a smaller hook, and I didn't believe the pattern. I was like, no, I crochet way too small and my coasters are gonna come out so tiny, so I'm gonna go up a hook size. And so I only ended up with 3 coasters instead of 4. And I hemmed and hawed. I was like, okay, I can really force a 4th one in this cauldron. I can remake them all with going down a hook size, or I can just sell it with 3 coasters. Because I assure you, no one out there who is going to be buying this is having tea parties with 3 other people all the time. So they're probably just gonna be using it for themselves and their bestie, if I had to guess. Not to generalize, just throwing it out there. So this is cute. This is the cutest thing in the world. I think when it's not being used as a coaster, I love that it's just a cute little decor that you don't even know is a coaster. It's just cute, coquette Halloween just hiding. Love that. So I was very taken by this pattern when I saw it, and I really wanted to make it. My only note on it, and this is not about the pattern's great, no notes on the pattern. To make the cauldron, you hold 3 strands of yarn together, not a problem, except I cheaped out on this yarn. I used Joann Fabrics Big Twist, and it looks great. I like how it looks. I think I've used Big Twist on pretty much all of these projects because I wanted to keep the cost as low as possible. And also they're Amigurumi. No one's wearing these things like on their head or around their neck or on their hands or anything. Anyway, this is all to say, using 3 strands of it and crocheting super tight. I crochet tight. This hurt my hands. I couldn't crochet for like 2 days afterwards. So if you're gonna make this, splurge on the good yarn is my only suggestion. So, my camera died. Okay. So, hi, I'm back. My camera's plugged in, so we can continue talking about all the cool stuff I made. So, now we're gonna get into all the jewelry I made. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what got into me. I don't know really how this started. I have a vague memory of... There's so many. Okay. I have a vague memory of wanting to go to Michael's to look at Halloween beads. I don't remember why, I don't know what got in my head. I think I had been on Michael's and found like some cute like kids crafts, and my brain was just like, what if I did kids crafts? That sounds adorable and wholesome. And I was like, well, what if I'm not gonna actually enjoy making like a plastic beaded bracelet for an 8-year-old. Like, I just would make that and be like, okay, well, this is garbage. So I think that's where the headspace went. I was like, I want to make a children's craft. And then realistic Pam was like, no, you don't. But what if we got some things to make an adult bracelet? And I was like, okay. So yeah, here's what happened. I looked up Halloween beads on michaels.com, expecting to see like a pumpkin and a ghost and a witch hat or a spooky spider. And what I found is that Michaels uses this third-party vendor named Gorilla Charms, and that's Guerrilla, Gorilla Charms. And I'm on the michaels.com website just trying to find a pumpkin, and Gorilla Charms pops up and has the most insane out-of-pocket Halloween charms I've ever seen in my life. I did a cursory search one night, like right before bed, and promptly realized this was way too big of a before bedtime thing. Like, I closed out of the Michaels website like my life depended on it. I was like, I can't give this the attention it deserves. I was just gonna look at a pumpkin and then be like, oh yep, they sure have pumpkins, and then go to bed. So I was like, oh my God, okay, we gotta take a look at that another time. So I promptly went absolutely insane. And I think it was a week later. I don't think I even did it like the next day or that week. I was like, I gotta sleep on this. I gotta be cool about this. And I still wasn't cool about it. I ordered a lot. I ordered even more things than what I'm gonna show off. But I went insane. And I went insane for a couple of reasons. There were a ton of charms that were in the aesthetic of all the things I wanted to make and have made and would continue to make. And then on top of that, there was just like a bunch of wild, horrifying, demonic, and satanic shit. And I wasn't ready. And I was like, okay, what if I ordered all of it? I held back a little bit, of course. I have since made a second purchase, which I'll talk about maybe at the end of this or another time. But Gorilla Charms has gotten a lot of my money in the last couple months. So this is all to say, once I saw the opportunities, I knew I was in for a lot. So I made a lot of things. Yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling about it, but golly, if you make jewelry or want to make jewelry, Gorilla Charms is very cool. They're so cool. Even just looking on there is so much fun. It's awesome. Anyway, let's get into the goods. So I don't know how I got the idea, but I mean, I had got these, Gorilla Charms had these tarot card charms that I promptly fell in love with. And hopefully the color focus will happen there, but these are pink. These are made with a pink crochet thread, and they are just little stars that I starched. I used cornstarch and water to make my own fabric stiffener. I starched them out so that they're not floppy when you wear them. The star pattern is called the Granny Star by Deanne Shoyer of Small But Kinda Mighty. So it took me a little bit of back and forth to decide how I wanted these. Initially, I wanted the charm to be under the star, but that just wasn't doing it for me. And then my girlfriend suggested putting the charm over the star, and I did, and I was just like, my God, that's it. So these are super cute. I am very delighted by them. They're giving like psychic, what your psychic would wear in the 70s. Like, it's just got big, like, crocheting was just invented. I know that's not true, but like it's 1974 and I read tarot, and also I've decided to learn how to crochet. Like, that's the character for these earrings, and I'm just in love with them. And I tried them on when I was making them to make sure they weren't like insane and huge, and I was just like, am I beautiful? What is this? I'm honestly, I don't want to say this is my favorite thing I've made, but this was, what's the word I'm looking for? This was the underdog. This was a huge underdog. I was like, oh, this will be cute. And my expectations versus how I actually felt had the biggest gap. I also made 2 sets in purple, and I made the executive decision to make them the sun and the moon, to make them a little asymmetrical. I think from far away, they will look symmetrical, and you'll just be like, oh, that person is wearing charms over their doilies. And then when you get up close, you'll see that it's a sun and a moon. And then I don't know, I thought that having a star had to do with that celestial theme. Like, I'm just honestly so pleased with how all of this turned out. I am now obsessed with the idea of little doily earrings. I'm working on making another pair. They're just, I couldn't find a way to make them fit for this set, so they're gonna show up another time. But yes, doily earrings are my thing now. I'm obsessed and I love them very much. So I'm really happy I got 4 pairs out of these. I'm very delighted. So in that vein, this was just, I saw these on Gorilla Charms and I was like, if I don't buy these, I'm gonna die. I don't know how else to explain it, but they are just these like coquette cottagecore Ouija boards. They're massive. Can you see this? That's how it would fall off my ear. I didn't even know what I was gonna do with these. I just, hey, they click clack. I like it. I was like, could I make a necklace? And I was like, I'm not in necklace territory yet. And then I was like, what if I just slapped them on an earring? And I've truly entered my, a lesbian would wear that if you put it on an earring phase. So I was like, well, I've already put doilies on earrings. May as well just slap these kind of giant Ouija board charms on earrings and see what happens. No other effort was put into this. Obviously they would be insane if I added anything else to it. So slapped them on an earring. Super easy. And now the final bracket is my macrame bracelets. I made 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 29, 30, 31 bracelets in 8 different styles. I went insane, just to reiterate. So here, I'll just start with the style. This is the style that all of them are in. You can see this macrame style with the nylon cord. I put little plastic beads. They vary in size depending on the style. And then the center, I just put a big old Halloween charm. And then the cool secret, they're adjustable, which is really delightful. So on the end, they have these little beads. I worked really hard not to make these super long and also not super short. And then you can adjust these to put them over your hand. And then, and you got a cute little bracelet with a little ghost on it. So I made 31 of these. And I regret nothing. They take so very little time to make, and I don't know, I just think they're so cute. They don't take a lot of time. I think they're really cute, and I think they look really nice for what they are. For half an hour of time, I just think these turned out really lovely. So I made four of these ghosts. They're here. And then this was actually the very first one I made. I was so excited about this pink ghost. I absolutely was like frothing at the mouth over this pink ghost. And yeah, I just kind of like changed bead sizes here. Like nothing crazy. I just wanted to keep it interesting with the bead sizes. by the end, these were getting a little repetitive because I used the exact same pattern on every single one, to a point where like by the time I was getting to the end, I was like, do I learn a new bracelet pattern? I'm so tired. And I ultimately decided, no, I don't want to learn a new thing. I don't want to learn a new thing. I just want to make stuff. Again, that's been the theme of all of this. So I have ideas for other patterns, for other bracelets I want to make, but for now, they're all the same. I made 4 pink ghosts with these pink beads. They're pink and black. They're lovely. This charm is the most, I think one of the most delightful. It is this plague doctor, this pink and black plague doctor going trick-or-treating. Perfect, perfection. Gorilla charms, you're magical. So there he is, and then I didn't really switch up the colors on the beads on a lot of them, but I did on this one because he was pink, and then I used the pink nylon for the bracelet, and I was like, do I use black or white, black or white, black or white? And I was like, both. So, like I said, at the very beginning of this, I just wanted to chase the fun. I just wanted this to be a fun thing, and I was like, there's no point in making 4 trick-or-treating plague doctor bracelets if I'm not gonna have fun and switch up the colors and see what happens. This one, I don't really know why I got it. I did. My friend says it's just like vaporwave soul edge, which I didn't even think about till I showed it to him. And I'm obsessed with the idea. So I kind of like this one a lot more than I did. I just thought it was kind of like silly. I don't know. It just was like a little kitschy. It was a little spooky. I loved putting this pink and light blue together. It was just so like funky vaporwave, and I just had a ton of fun with this one. I don't know. I did these, I think 10mm beads with these 4mm beads. I don't know. But I don't know. I just really like how this one turned out. I love the colors. I don't have pink and blue on anything else and anything else that I made. Maybe a little bit in the Ouija board earrings, but different energy here. It's got this cottage core energy, and this has this like vaporwave energy, this spooky vaporwave energy. So yeah, it's got like a little bit of like a bubblegum energy, like a, I don't know, like a pop star energy. I'm just delighted by it. So I love you, Vaporwave Soul Edge. Oh, I only made 3 of these. My girlfriend used one. We made best friend bracelets one night, and they wanted to use one of my devil charms. This is another tarot card. It is the devil card, but as like, I don't know, the bi pride flag. It's just like pink, purple, and blue. I guess that's not bi. I don't know. Anyway, it's got pink, purple, and blue in the card, and then I used pink, purple, blue, and then I had an extra space, so I just used black, and then I used black on the ends. So I don't know. This was actually the very last one I made. I just finished this up yesterday. I finished this up yesterday. So I was like, hey, whatever, I've made like 30 bracelets. I can play around with colors a little bit. So I did, and I think it turned out super cute, and I'm very delighted. But yeah, I have 3 of those. This is picking up the color on this card so well. I'm really digging that. Okay, so this was another one that I was obsessed with the charm as soon as I saw it. It's giving magical girl. It's spooky, it's pastel. I love her little eyelashes. Love a little eyelash on a skull. The Sailor Moon on her forehead. It took me a really long time to decide on colors. That was actually the hard part of this. A lot of these things, the colors were more or less chosen for me. Like, ooh, do a pumpkin, make it pink. Blammo. This was matching colors to this and making it look like it made sense. And I think this was the one that I waffled over the most, and then almost took it apart because I was like, is this good? Is this bad? I made one of these at like 10 at night and I almost cut into it to like destroy it so I could start over. And I actually had a reasonable moment. I was like, go to bed. Go to bed and sleep on this. If you want to cut it up in the morning, you can. And I woke up the next day, I had slept on it, and then in the natural sunlight, I was like, oh, this looks totally fine. I used like a silver cord and a light pink bead, and I was like, maybe I should have used purple, maybe I should have used pink cord, maybe I should have used black. There's a lot of colors in here, more than you would think. So I agonized over this one, but I think she turned out really cute, all told, and I'm really delighted by her. And again, I have 4. I just like showing all of them because I made all of them by hand. And I just really want to show you that I did all of them. I did it. This one might be a favorite, contending with the pink ghost. But this is this cute little coffin, this like purple coffin with a purple bow on it. I made the executive decision to use an off-white, which I thought I had more beads that would work for that off-white, and I didn't. This is the only charm that I used the off-white for, which is a bummer. It's fine. I actually ended up having to make an order to order white because the off-white just wasn't working for anything. So I used off-white and then the deep purple beads with this, and I think this just turned out super, super cute. I'm delighted with all of these things. I would not be showing them to you if I wasn't delighted with them. But yeah, I made 4 of them. They're adorable. And then one of the last ones I made, this is the last thing, by the way, for real, for real. I was only gonna do six of these styles. I wasn't gonna do the Devil Tarot card initially, and then I was gonna be done. And then I made an order, I made another order because it's a whole other story. I ordered more things from Gorilla Charms, and when I was looking at the Gorilla Charms website, I was like, how did I miss this? And I don't know if I missed it or if it just didn't speak to me at the time, but I found this like spooky cotton candy. And I think in my heart of hearts, I think I saw it on the first pass and was like, yeah, not really for me. And then after making all these spooky bracelets, I was like, she has to be part of the squad. She has to be. So this one was super cute too. This was the only one that I used a pink and purple combination for, which I'm kind of surprised about because you saw everything else. So my very last Dark Horse bracelet, Dark Horse is what I was looking for earlier. My very last bracelet ended up being the Clutch pink and purple bracelet. Also at this point I had started to run out of beads. I had to start counting them out before I made them to make sure I had the right size of them, because these are just like a cheapo plastic bead from Michael's that's like $4 for like 4 ounces or something, and they just throw a random lot of 4 different sizes of beads in there. And if you really like the 10mm beads, then eventually you start to run out of them and have to make decisions. So, scramble, what are you doing? So I also made 4 of these. Yay! Just for fun, and because I'm probably never gonna have the chance to do it again, I'm gonna hold all of these up. Please, please look upon my wares. Look at them! Can I have a round of applause? Thank you. Thank you. Oh God, you shouldn't have. I made all these. I'm super proud. These all turned out super cute. And I know what you're thinking. Pam, certainly you've made jewelry before and sold jewelry before, and certainly it's gone well and that's why you're making so many. No, I've never made or sold jewelry before in my life. again, I just went to Gorilla Charms. I went to michaels.com where I found all of this and I activated. I went cuckoo. I went off the rails. I acted a fool. So, it feels really good to hold all of these. Golly, I don't know what else to say. I guess to conclude, thank you for watching this. I have never ever done a video like this before. So if there's something you liked, I'd love to know about it. If there's something you didn't like, I would love to know about it. If there's something you want more of, just let me know. I'm happy to take constructive criticism because I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to talk about all the stuff I made for an hour. So I am putting all of this on my Etsy. I know Etsy is not the most beloved website in the world, but I'm such a small creator that I don't have the traffic to make my own website. So I use Etsy and I just sort of try my best to factor in the fees and cost them as fairly as I possibly can to myself. So I'm gonna do that. September 15th of 2024, all of this and all of the other things you saw that I can't pick up will be available on my Etsy, etsy.com/shop/Amigurumi makes. Yay, I did it. It's gonna be up on September 15th and it's gonna be up until it sells. So whether that takes a week or a decade, it's just gonna stay up. It's not a limited time thing, it's just limited until they sell. I'm probably not gonna make more of this, so if I sell all of my bracelets and someone says, ooh, I really want a ghost bracelet, can you make me one? Probably not. I will never say never. I will never say never, but the truth is, I started this about a month ago, and I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on to the next thing, to the next aesthetic. Like I said, I'm a little over the cutesy stuff for now. I like it. I love what I've made. I'm so proud of all of this. I would not have felt compelled to make a whole video about it if I wasn't super 10 out of 10 proud about all of this stuff. So please don't get me wrong. I don't hate any of this. I love all of this so much. I just need a break from pink and purple. I got it out of my system. That was the whole point of this, was to get it out of my system, and I accomplished that. So I acted a fool on Gorilla Charms again, and I want to make more jewelry. That's kind of what I want to focus on. So looking into the next chapter, I want to make more doily earrings, more cute little doily earrings like this. I want them to be a little spookier. I still have a bunch of Halloween stuff from Gorilla Charms, so I still want to stay in the Halloween horror motif. Yeah, I got some gross stuff. There's some gross stuff on Gorilla Charms. You'd be amazed. It's good. I'm not affiliated with them at all. They have cool stuff. So I'm gonna make some gross, horrific jewelry. I think that's my next plan. And I want to dabble in Inktober. I have some plans for Inktober. I have done Inktober before. I think I've done it successfully, every drawing 3 times. I want to do Inktober because it's really fun and a lot of cool things come from Inktober, but I also want to make jewelry. I'm also working on a sweater. I want to do a lot of things and I only have so much time in my day. So if you have made it this far, thank you so much. I have never ever done this before, like I said. So please let me know if there's anything else you want to see. Please follow me. I would love to share more things in my art and craft journey. I'm really excited about this. I just really like sharing things. So if you want to see more things like this, or literally not at all like this, please follow along on my little journey. I would love that. So this has been long-winded enough. Thank you very much for your time, and you have a happy Halloween.